Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Raw review. Well, that's it, Superstar, Super Show. I keep calling it Superstar Showdown. I think a lot of other wrestlers made that mistake leading up. No one could figure out there's too many S's in it. Well, Super Showdown is now over, and now it's time for Crown Jewel. So, I guess we're not gonna have an October pay per view. They're not gonna do was there a no? Yeah, there was a No Mercy last year, right? Guess they're just gonna skip that one and go right for Crown Jewel. I mean, they might as well instead of having like two pay per views within the same month. So I guess yeah, Superstar Showdown, and then they're gonna have Crown Jewel. So two international pay per views. Remember when those kind of didn't count so much? They'd have international pay per views, but they'd kind of like gloss over them. Only once in a while would they do build for them, like one night only, for example. That's a show where they did a little bit of build, but that was back in '97. You had the Rebellion pay per view where Bulldog knocked Stephanie unconscious with the garbage can. But other than that, they would usually have these pay per views and not even mention them to the American audience. So, now they're like pushing it hard, like we're going to have big matches planned. So, Shawn Michaels is out of retirement. This is how we start off the show with D-Generation X returning. And it's like in the first 10 minutes of the show, and that's it. We don't see Undertaker. We don't see Kane. I mean, I guess Glenn is back, in his mayor's office, which is just bizarre. And, I got to say, like, I'm happy. I'm a huge Shawn Michaels fan. And, someone requested I do my top 10 wrestlers of all time. And I am going to do that list. I'm gonna need some time to think about that one. Believe I could probably put it together, but I gotta have to concentrate and want to do that video, and I do want to do it. But let me get through this stuff first, and maybe who knows when I'll put it out? Could even be tomorrow, the next day. But I will get to that video. That is an interesting idea to do. It's gonna be hard to pick 10 wrestlers to put on a list of all time. I mean, to really be able to slot them, so it might end up being one of those lists where I kind of do a cop out and say, well, these are 10 wrestlers that I love, but they might not necessarily be in the correct order. They may switch around. Shawn Michaels coming back for a tag match. We all know why he's doing it, no matter what he says. It's kind of coincidental that he returned, after 8 years to Saudi Arabia, of all places. And why is that? Because they're going to pay him a fucking assload of money to perform. I would like to see him come back for the Shawn Michaels Undertaker 3 match so they can make that a trilogy. That probably would have been a lot better than, it being a tag match. So, anyway, I'm looking forward to that tag match. For Super Showdown, a lot of people complained that the Triple H Undertaker match was too slow. It was boring. It was old men wrestling. I'll tell you something. I prefer like just seeing those guys go at it than watching a lot of the boring shit we saw on tonight's Raw. So they do the DX routine. Funny they played a video of DX, but they didn't show anything prior to 2006 with DX. I think they showed a brief clip of when they did that fake return in 2002 when Triple H turned on Michaels. But they didn't show anything from 97, 98, or 99, which was like, I guess it's no surprise. Remember at Raw 25, when Triple H told Shawn Michaels, oh, you can't talk about that old stuff. So lame. Oh, we can't talk about this stuff, but you could go watch on the network. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Um, Triple H is going to yell "suck it," and he's going to, be awarding kids with cancer championship belts. The new shirt, I don't really like it. The two skeleton hands and They're doing the Too Sweet. Like I don't know where the Too Sweet. Like I don't like ever since they've had Bullet Club people come into the WWE. All of a sudden, we're doing Too Sweet again. We're doing the click shit. Like this was like rare when you would see them do this. That like I don't know. Anyway, I don't like the new shirt. Their merchandise was better even when they were back in like 2009 and stuff. I don't really like this new shirt that they have. Um, Lashley defeated Kevin Owens. Once again, Kevin Owens gets his ass dominated. Then he gets his leg banged around. I think he's actually really going for a knee surgery, if that's true. Unless that's some like kayfabe injury they're doing. But it looked like they were turning they kind of did confirm it. They were turning Lashley heel here. So I'm all for turning Lashley heel, but it's like the guy was getting cheered when he came out as a babyface when he first returned. You're turning him heel here. It's not like a Roman Reigns situation where you should be turning him heel based on the crowd reaction being counter to what you're trying to portray him as. Now, the thing is, it's like that doesn't mean that he's going to be any more over now that he's a heel. It's like the same thing with Roman Reigns. Just because, he's a heel now, they still got to book the guy properly. They still got to write for him properly. They still got to make sure that, that Lashley is still doing good things on TV that's going to make him look like a good heel. But we're talking about a writing team that's fucking stupid. So, heel Lashley, babyface Lashley, that doesn't mean that we're not going to still get stupid crap like Lashley talking about his sisters or Lashley beating up indie wrestlers in drag. Lio Rush is an interesting addition to Lashley, but it's like, how come he didn't need a mouthpiece in TNA and the guy was getting over, and I think that they should sort of use that template that they were kind of doing in TNA where Lashley was just an unstoppable champion. Then backstage it was Lashley and Lio Rush interrupting Finn Balor and Bayley, and Finn is still smiling his ass off. They interrupt. Bayley's like, "Hey, it's our time." Right here, we're looking at two of the lamest fucking characters I think I've ever laid eyes on. What is up with... It looks like Balor's got problems. Always smiling all the time. Hey! 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 Seriously. Like, what is up with Balor? Is this his character? Does he have, like, an uncontrollable smile? I mean, like, that'd be a better gimmick than what we're getting now. I mean, what happened with Balor? He's the demon. He's going to be the spokesperson for LBGT. He's smiling his ass off with Bayley the next one. I don't, like, what is he supposed to be? What's his character? Who is he? Finn Balor, I mean, my God, like, they don't know what to do with this guy. This is the first ever Universal Champion. And he's like in mixed match challenge, like all he's doing is tagging now. Like honestly, like this is a guy standing there with Mick Foley, the first ever holder of a world title in WWE and the biggest wrestling company, in the United States, the world, and Balor's just backstage, hey, hey, like. So Lashley and Lio interrupt. Please, for the love of God, don't tell me this is going to be a feud. I mean, honestly, am I really supposed to honestly sit there and watch a feud now with Finn Balor and Lashley? Elias is in the ring. Once again, we're back to not doing anything with Elias. He puts down the town of Chicago. That's it. He talks about the food being bad and, Chicago being bad. And, you got somebody that's so over here. And, I know everybody like What Culture thinks no matter what happens to Elias that he's going to be over no matter what. And I will tell you, I think that Elias is actually cooling down. I don't think he gets the reaction that he used to. It's, you don't realize it's like you can't make a guy look bad and think that the guy's going to be continuously over. What has Elias done since he's really been in the WWE? He got himself over with the gimmick through him, doing good promos and everything, and it's like, we've already forgotten about all the heat that he got last week with the Sonics comment. It's over, said and done with. They didn't build off of that, meanwhile, Kevin Owens is just getting his ass handed to him. And, that's about it. And we move on. And that's it for Elias for this episode of Raw. I mean, this is how they treat their wrestlers. This is how they treat their characters who, are making them money. He's selling the Walk with Elias shirts. Elias, I don't know if the guy is a draw quite yet. I wouldn't say that. But the thing is, it's like, you don't even put the guy in matches. You don't even do anything with him to make him stand out. It's the same thing every week. He comes out, insults the crowd, or sometimes he might get interrupted. It's like, am I really supposed to look forward to Elias doing this every week when this guy is capable of so much more? We've seen him demonstrate that on so many occasions. Yet it's like, where's the guy's chance to really shine? It's not coming. I mean, they know enough that he's good to put him out there to get the heat, but what really is that doing? By him putting down the town every week, what is that doing? You rile up the crowd for a few minutes and then the segment's over. There's nothing that comes of it. Elias's character doesn't develop any. It's not leading to a match with Elias. It's not leading to a new storyline with Elias. So it's like, what is the purpose of him doing that week after week when it goes nowhere? It doesn't do anything. Ronda Rousey and the Bellas defeated the Riot Squad, so, it's like, why did I need to watch the pay-per-view on Saturday when they're already doing the same match on Raw? Thanks for that, the same result as well. Then the Bellas beat up Ronda Rousey next week, so now we can look forward to one of these, these long promos by the Bellas where they're going to talk for several minutes about why they did what they did to Ronda Rousey, and it's probably not going to even make sense. You notice that whenever they do a promo and they give a reason, they never have a clear-cut reason. It's always like, oh, well, she took my ham sandwich, but then she jaywalked across the street. Like, what? Like, there's never ever a reason behind it that's comprehensible to the human mind, and it's like fucking wrestling. Just say something like, make up some real story or something like that. Go for a half shoot. Say something you really don't like about Ronda Rousey. But you already know that next week they're going to come out with some convoluted reason of why they beat her up. Finn Balor and Bayley team. Hey! Against Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox, and we already do this match. You've got former world champions here, as stated by the announcers. And like, what is the point of mixed match challenge? Is it, do they just want to make cutesy tag teams? It's like, why? Why are we doing mixed match challenge? Like, what is the point of it? Why are they doing it? For what purpose? For what reason? Why would you need to do this? Like, what are they getting out of it? Oh, they're getting, views on Facebook Watch. Is anybody watching Facebook Watch? Let me ask you, first of all, before, I check Facebook like every day, every other day, pretty much. Before Mixed Match Challenge came along, I didn't even know there was a Facebook Watch. Who the fuck seriously watches shows on Facebook when you've got, cable, satellite, Fios, You've got Netflix, Hulu, all this shit, YouTube. Who's watching Facebook Watch? I mean, now what they started to do is after they do it on Facebook Watch, they're putting it on the network. And just like 205 Live, I'm not fucking watching it. I haven't been watching it. I'm not going to watch it. Do I really want to sit there and watch, like, first of all, you're already giving us this match on Raw. And then I'm seeing it on the network. I go to watch. I'm watching one night only from 1997. I'm gonna do a review on that too, a retro review. And the thing is, I'm seeing that there's a match with Bailey and Balor again. And did they face Jinder and a Fox again on Mixed Match Challenge? So they do it on Raw, then they do it on Mixed Match. It's like, what is the point? Why are we even doing this? Now, I understand it's just a little something so they could get views, ad revenue on Facebook Watch. There must be ads all over it. And then they're going to air it on the network. And whether people watch it or not, they're not really losing anything. They post it on the network. They don't post it on the network. It doesn't cost them anything to post it on the network. It's their network. So I understand why they're doing it. So it's sort of a rhetorical question. But it's just like such a pointless thing. You know, you're doing this, and it's not really like even like canon, really. They are doing it on Raw, but I feel like it's still taking place in an alternate universe. Like nothing that happens on Mixed Match Challenge really affects what happens on Raw and SmackDown. So it's like, why am I going to watch it? It's not going to be on the pay-per-view or anything. They're not building towards anything. And what like happens to the people who win? They said like last season it was like Jimmy Uso and Naomi or something, right? So it's like, okay, so what did they get for winning it? Oh, we won. Okay, great. So what's the stakes? Like, why are we watching it? What is the purpose? What happens? It's kind of like when Braun Strowman won the Battle Royal at Saudi Arabia. Like, what did he get for it? He got a trophy. Okay. Where's that trophy now? I don't see him carrying it around. Can he defend it? Did it lead to anything? No. It's just something there. Something to have, something to just say you won and there's no purpose behind it. Heath Slater approaches Heath Slater, my God. Like, where's Rhino? Like, you honestly have Rhino backstage. This guy that, look at Rhino. This guy is. I'm watching him briefly. I saw a YouTube video. I clicked on it of Rhino from 2001 winning the U.S. Championship against Tajiri at Unforgiven. And I'm just like, I look at the comments and I'm like, this guy's on the current roster right now. The same guy who gored Chris Jericho through the SmackDown stage. SmackDown 1000's coming up. That was one of the greatest moments right there, right? The whole stage collapsed. Rhino looked like a fucking beast. What's Rhino doing? Sitting on the sidelines doing absolutely fucking nothing. And I'm just like, why? You have him on the roster, you might as well use him. No, you're not going to do that. Or no, they don't use him at all. He's just backstage rotting away. And the guy looks legit. And now more than ever, when you got all these guys, when you have so few people that are like, super tall, and you've got all these smaller guys, you've got Rhino who's wide. The one thing that was probably holding him back was the fact that Rhino was 5'10". So that kind of hurt him. He wasn't that tall, but he was wide. But the thing is, when you're that fucking wide, you can kind of compensate for a few inches there. You know what I mean? You kind of fit in with the other, 6+ footers when you're that fucking wide. Anyway, you got Heath Slater, and what does Baron Corbin tell him? He says, you're not in the International Battle Royal. This is to qualify for the World Cup. Whoever won the Battle Royal will go on. So Corbin's going to put himself in the match. He tells Heath Slater, you're not good enough. Heath Slater just stands there like an idiot. Nothing to say. And guess what? We don't see Heath Slater for the rest of the night. And then they have the match. Heath Slater's nowhere to be found in the match. So there's a conquistador in there, and it turns out to be Kurt Angle, and he throws Corbin over the top, dressed as the conquistador. So Edge and Christian did this, back in the Attitude Era, back in 2000, and it was funny. And you know what it is, like, I didn't really find it all that funny. Like, I honestly didn't. And it's just because, it's like, I look at it like that. Like, we've already seen this. And I know you can go back to it, but it's just like, what are we even doing here? What is the World Cup? This is not soccer. What is this? It's like the same thing with the big battle royal in Saudi Arabia earlier this year. What I just mentioned with Braun Strowman. What are we doing with this? Like, what is the point of the World Cup? John Cena's going to be in the World. Okay, so at least we're going to have Angle, John Cena in there. You got some good wrestlers. Maybe we'll have some good matches. But what is even the point of it? Like, honestly, like, I know you're going to say, like, oh, what is the point of even a world title? It's fake, like, yeah, but it's like, at least we see that after the show. It's like, they're going to have the World Cup. And what is anyone going to get for winning it? Like, just recognition, a trophy again. The Saudis will come in there and, like, party it up with McMahon and Triple H, and, it's all going to be a good time, No women are going to compete there, but hey, Evolution's going to be at the end of the month. So, contradictions abound, and the thing is, what would have been funny is if Heath Slater eliminated Corbin. Like, if he was the conquistador, because that would have made sense. He's putting down Slater. Slater's nowhere to be found. So they just make the guy look like a goof. You're not doing anything with Slater. And this guy proved himself on SmackDown. This guy proved himself back in 2012 when he jobbed out to a host of legends. I said it back then in 2012. After he jobbed out to all those legends on Raw, Vader, Sid, I said, there's got to be a big push on the horizon for Heath Slater. He ended up in 3MB. So, no. So, I mean, like, they're keeping this guy around. And they only, like, for some reason, he just popped out of nowhere for no reason at all. Unless they're going to do something next week with him. Like, what was the point of that segment? Like, you're just going to have people, like, left scratching their heads. Why are we even seeing Heath Slater if it's not going to lead to anything? So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe next week they might have Slater maybe qualified for this thing, or, try to weasel his way into it. I don't know. I, like, quite frankly, don't even care at this stage in the game. I said I think that there's, something to be made of Heath Slater. I think that the guy's quite talented. I think he's got a character and a personality worth watching. But, creative, rather just have Finn Balor, hey, ho, just doing that. I mean, I guess that's entertaining to them. Ember Moon defeated Nia Jax by countout. Nia Jax is like, so, like, let me get something straight. So they've got the LED board. Didn't they always have that LED board there now? And now they've been, like, bumping off of it lately. Okay, I'm just like, they just all of a sudden thought of that spot, but now they keep doing that spot. And it's like going to be like the new going through the barricade spot, or throwing somebody over the announce table, or into the timekeeper's area. Like, it's just going to be one of those overused spots. So Ember Moon wins, and Nia Jax is like happy for her. She, raises her hand. Okay, it's like, first of all, who gives a fuck about Ember Moon? Like, I talked about this, like, fuck, like, who the hell is she? She just, like, shows up. She starts doing 6-man tags. We don't know anything about the girl. We don't know what her character is. She's from NXT. We would understand that, but it's like, all right. She sticks her tongue out. She talks like a valley girl. She's supposed to be a vampire. She's supposed to be a warrior goddess. Like, well, what are we doing here? Like, honestly, Can't you convey a single character in a simplistic fashion that's easy to digest? Like, and also, like, Nia Jax, like, what are they doing with her? You know, you want to make her the spokesperson for body positivity. You can't even give her a fucking win like 2 weeks in a row. Like, can they stay consistent on anything? And what culture is talking about continuity? Seriously, guys, go fuck yourselves. Like you sound so moronic when you say that, because there is no continuity in this company. It's a train wreck. So, Trish Stratus returns out of the clear blue sky. I guess it was just time for Trish to show up again. No hype towards it, no nothing. You know, it's just like, you know, how great would it have been to see maybe Trish in Australia? You know? Nope. So, you know, they didn't bring out Trish. They didn't bring out. So they just wait for Raw, which is probably going to get a low rating. I haven't checked it yet, but y'all know it's coming. So Alexa Bliss comes out, and Mickie James was looking fucking amazing. Oh my God. Like, that was the right outfit. It was, Mickie James was looking the best out of anybody right there. And, you know, I'm sorry to say, but like I said, you know, Trish is just looking like way too thin in the face, and I just don't really find her attractive anymore. And you're like, okay, you understand that she had kids and all that and everything, but quite frankly, guys, like, I personally know people that have had children, and, you know, they're like already in their 40s, you know, just like Trish, and they look better. And they've had like 3-4 kids, and they look better. I'm just saying. I mean, like, Trish is just like I don't know if it's because she aged. It's just she's not wrinkly or anything. It's just I don't know if it's the type of fitness she's doing with the yoga. She just doesn't look anything like she used to. Like, honestly, like, I don't know what it is that they're not doing her makeup the same way, but she's just not looking good. Lita looked better than her. Lita returns. You know, Trish hits the chick kick. Lita goes up for the moonsault. I like that they pulled her out because, you know, when she does the moonsault at Evolution, it's going to be, you know, like they're going to pop a lot for it. Okay, only one problem here. They made this a tag match. Now, I don't know how most people feel, but from what I've assessed, most people rather see singles matches. Same thing with me, one-on-one. Not that I'm opposed to tag matches, but I'll take a singles match any day of the week over a tag match. So, they went from having Mickie James versus Lita to, you know, Alexa Bliss and Trish Stratus, a one-on-one dream match, which I was looking forward to seeing. And they just turned it into a lazy-ass fucking tag match. They just combined the two matches out of the clear blue sky. Why? Why? Like, who wants to see this? Like, okay, you know, we're still going to get to see all four of these wrestlers together. But, like, you just took two potentially good matches, and you just, like, you know it's not going to be as good now that it's a tag match. So, like, why did they do that? They just made the card worse. And they just took away the dream match, the Trish and Bliss match. I think that was, like, the worst possible move they could have done to the card. Like, you're going to condense those two matches down. Probably prolong the tag match to compensate. And can you believe we still don't have Ronda Rousey's opponent? I guess it's going to be Nikki Bella now. Or, you know, but it's kind of like, I feel like that should be a handicap match almost. But whatever. So it's a tag match now. Chad Gable and Bobby Roode defeated the Ascension. So, you know, Connor is like, gets 2 wins in a row. We're finally building this guy as a monster. And then they lose. So So let me get this straight. So when Victor has a match, he loses. When Connor has a match, he wins. And then when they have the tag match, they lose. Okay, it's like, I don't get this type of like pattern thing that they do with these tag matches. Remember, it used to be like, people used to think they were super smarty smarks, and they would be like, oh, well, if they lost tonight, that means they're losing at the pay-per-view. I don't think that's how it works anymore. It's like, now you just win or lose whenever. Remember what Road Dogg said, wins and losses don't matter anymore, and they sure as fuck don't. Take a look at this, for example. What Chad Gable tagged himself in. Bobby Roode was like annoyed. Okay, it's like, who the fuck, like, they're saying like Bobby Roode's a former U.S. champion, and I'm just like watching him like in this pointless tag match, and I'm just saying, what the hell are you doing with this guy? I mean, you brought this guy in, he was your NXT champion, he was a former TNA champion, everyone knows his name, for at least in the crowd, and like, this is what you're doing with him. Oh my God. Like, Paul Heyman comes out and cuts like another one of these ridiculously long-winded promos. Brock Lesnar's nowhere to be seen. He completely like buries Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, calling them weaklings. Hey, that was great. Great there, Heyman. This is not the first time he's buried people in a promo. Like, I don't understand. Like, why don't they reprimand Heyman for this? You're trying to build up this trio of Braun, Strowman, Ziggler, and McIntyre, and trying to make like they're good enough to stand toe to toe with the Shield. They're gonna go on to win tonight, and you're calling them weak links. It's the same thing. It's like they show them in the locker room. Braun is yelling at Drew and Dolph, making them look inferior, like yelling at them like small children. And it's like Heyman's like confirming that. These guys are teaming with Strowman, but they're not quite as over as him, and they don't really belong. So it's like, then why do the team then? So, Heyman's like, Brock is the only one that's not in a stable at the moment. And, I'm just so sick and tired of Heyman coming in. Just let Brock come out there and cut his own promos. It's the same thing all the time with Heyman. It's like, does anybody realize year after year in this company, we're watching the same show with slightly different changes, but every year it's the same thing. Every single year, multiple times, Heyman comes out to cut the same promo every 3 months or so. And we're left sitting here just watching the same shit. It's enough already. Like, break away from this fucking formulaic bullshit. So we have our main event. It's Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, and Dolph Ziggler defeating the Shield. Strowman grabs Ziggler by the throat, and you see now they just reversed the result, which I don't even see the point of that. It's like they just had this match on the pay-per-view, and just like I said with the Ronda Rousey tag match, they're doing it again. Well, this match had a different result. And then at the end, Dean Ambrose walks away, and they just end the show just like that. And on WWE.com, on YouTube, then they have an exclusive where they interview Dean. He says that I don't fit in. Don't you think it would have been better off to go off the air that way? What is up with them? They do all these interviews that would be better off being on Raw. They waste time having super dragged out matches and all this other shit, but they don't put that up. They don't put that on Raw. They rather just put it up on their website instead as an exclusive. So you're going to build characters exclusively on the website, not on your fucking main show, which is everybody is watching. Well, not everybody is watching it. Your ratings are probably still going to be low this week as well. But this is the show that most people are watching when they want to see WWE. So how smart is it to put it on the fucking website? So it's like, I'm still not really too sure why Dean is mad at the Shield, why he's breaking away from them. It's like they haven't given the reason. You know, they don't give a reason for anything. It's like, why did the Bellas beat up Ronda Rousey? We're going to find out a reason. It's going to be completely ridiculous. Dean Ambrose says he doesn't fit in. Okay, yeah, so there you go, guys. There's a Raw review. This show, it's like, you know, they start off with DX. So you want to see DX. You only see him for the first 10 minutes. And then it's just a bore right after. You know, we see the return of Kurt Angle. He's dressed as a conquistador. It's like, you know, it's like, who cares about any of this? A World Cup? Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, what is the purpose of any of it? And to close before I go, let's get back to Bobby Lashley for a minute. Bobby Lashley defeats Roman Reigns, you know, and then Roman Reigns then beats him and then goes on to win the Universal title against Brock. And then Bobby Lashley is relegated to just obscurity. Like, so you had him beat Roman Reigns, the guy you hold in the highest regard, and this is what he's been reduced to, and now they're banking on a heel turn. Like, no. If you continued the momentum of when Bobby Lashley beat Roman Reigns, you would have had Bobby Lashley the most over he's probably ever been. But anyway, guys, there you go. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you've been unsubscribed, well, subscribe again. You know, sometimes YouTube does that. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. And check out all the other videos here. It's been your YWC champ, and I'm signing out.